Hello everyone, it's Chris. We are leaving the Lee Travel Plaza, the last travel plaza in Western Massachusetts, on our way to Niagara Falls, New York, but we're gonna have to stop at least once before we get to Niagara Falls. This is a follow-up to my video from Niagara Falls to Rhode Island, and I mentioned I was going to do a fuel test, only this time, instead of riding 75 or so, we're gonna hit pretty close at cruise control to 70 miles an hour, and that is my goal today. We're gonna try to keep it right at 70 and see how optimized the fuel consumption is at 70 compared to 75. The other thing I want to talk about very briefly is I spoke a lot about rider fatigue on that ride because I was amazed at how smooth and incredible the Spyder was on that trip. A couple of things that I want to just mention related to rider fatigue is, one, the helmet that I'm wearing, and two, the seat. So as far as my helmet goes, I ride with a Scorpion EXO AT950 helmet. It's a modular helmet, meaning it has the flip-up lid. And in addition to that, which those helmets are, I think, inherently heavier than most full face, certainly more than the open face helmets. But in addition to that, it also has a sun visor, like a baseball cap type beak that sticks out. Now that really helps me when I'm riding east in the mornings or west in the afternoons. I'm heading into the sun. I can remember riding my two-wheel motorcycle before I had this helmet. My right hand on the handlebar, and my left hand would be held out like this, blocking the sun. With the beak, I don't have to do that. However, the beak adds a little weight to the helmet. Not a lot, but a little. The other thing is my helmet has an intercom, and that doesn't take up a lot of weight. It's a Sena 3S Universal, but it adds a little weight to the helmet. But the big weight on my helmet is this, the GoPro camera. Because not only is it the GoPro camera, but it's got what's called a media mod. It's almost like a cocoon around the camera. And that's so my audio mic, I use a Purple Panda mic, can plug into it. The mic adds a little weight because it's got a very, very long cord. I want to say it's a 9-foot cord spooled up with a little Velcro wrap around it. So all of those things mean I'm carrying a very heavy weight on my head for that entire journey. And I only mention it because the average rider who's not a motovlogger, who's just going out for a cruise, is not carrying that heavy weight on their head. And so that might mean that the trip might be even less fatiguing on a Spyder than my trip was. The other thing I want to mention is when it comes to the seat. So I have an RT Limited. The Sea to Sky has a nicer seat, and I've commented on a couple of my previous videos. I can't imagine how much nicer it can be because this seat is a dream as far as I'm concerned. What I would love to do is do a whole video on comparing the seats. Now Sean Smokes, who has a great channel, I watch it often, he has commented on the Sea to Sky seat, but I've never seen him comment, and if you have, let me know the video that references it. But really contrasting kind of an A-B comparison between the Sea to Sky seat and the RT seat. I know he's commented on the seats, but I don't know that it's been like a whole video commenting comparing the two. If anybody is watching this video and they live in Western New York and you ride a Sea to Sky, if you're willing to do a ride with me where we'd switch back and forth throughout the day comparing the seats, and we'd both kind of compare notes. You'd ride my bike for a while, I'd ride yours for a while, and we'd kind of do a thorough comparison. I'll do a whole video on it. I would love that. That would be very helpful. Because let's face it, at least as far as I was concerned during like my purchase process, when it came to comparing the Sea to Sky versus the RT Limited, which I eventually chose, the only difference was the seat. I know it has adjustable wind deflectors, I mean, I don't know how big a deal that is. I mean, if you said we're going to put adjustable wind deflectors on your motorcycle, I'd say sure, I'll take it. I don't know that I'd pay extra for it. At one point, the Sea to Sky came with luggage, and that was no appeal to me because, quite frankly, that just takes up space within the luggage compartment. In fact, I carry things on my motorcycle in my luggage compartments that came with cases that I don't use because it just takes up space. So to me, the big difference is, oh, and the other big difference is color, and that's not like meaningful to me. Quite frankly, I love carbon black, and you know, I do like the new color, that satin white. I do like that. I didn't like the alpine green color, but anyway, so color is not a huge deal for me. For me, the big deal between the Sea to Sky and the RT Limited is the seat. So when it comes time to re-up, whenever that is, to get a new model, unless they make more meaningful changes, the difference for me is going to be the seat. And my guess is that's the case for many of you. I reset the trip odometer when I fueled up at the Lee Travel Plaza. We're at 7.8 miles now. When we get to about 150, 160 or so miles, I'll gas up again. We'll be in New York State at that point on the New York State Thruway, and we'll do a quick calculation and see what we come up with on MPG. Until then, I'll be back shortly. So I left a day earlier than I originally planned because if I had left tomorrow, there was a light chance of rains, and today along the entire route there was zero chance of rain, so I left today. However, as you can see, Mother Nature, they don't always conform to the weather forecasters. I'm pulling in here, not to gas up actually, because I've got 66 miles to go, but just to take a little restroom break and maybe when I get out, put on my rain gear, depending on which way this storm is going, or maybe just my top, maybe change my gloves. But I just wanted to show you the beautiful weather I'm having on the way home. Is not quite as beautiful as the weather I had on the way to Rhode Island. So this will be a quick pit stop. This may change my fuel consumption very slightly, but it shouldn't much, and we'll be right back at it. I'll pick it up when we get to the next rest area to gas up. So I spent a little more time than I had planned at that rest area. I was a little colder than what I thought I was, because I was a little wetter than I thought I was. I've got my rain gear on, as you can see. I've got my winter weight riding gloves, even though it's only 64 degrees. But they're waterproof, semi-waterproof, I should say. Quite frankly, I'm cold because I was wet. And so here's why I came back on now before we're gassing up. My fatigue level at the end of this ride is going to be different, I am quite certain, than the fatigue level when I arrived in Rhode Island. After getting wet unexpectedly, this rain is not supposed to be here right now. I looked at a couple of different weather maps, looked at the radar. I'm still trying to get up to 70 here. Looked at the radar, and this rain doesn't exist right now, and yet here we are. It is very windy, especially compared to the ride to Rhode Island when there was almost no wind. It's colder. It's now 61 degrees according to my thermometer. So I guess where I'm going is I'm going to gas up and we'll do the calculation, but my expectation is I'm halfway through the trip right now. Let me go to my trip odometer B, which has so we're 228 out of 459. So yeah, we're pretty much at the almost exactly actually at the halfway point, and I'm not at all fatigued right now, but I was shivering in that rest area until I ordered a little cup of coffee. So I know just because of the riding conditions and whatnot, I will be slightly more fatigued. If I think it's worthy of popping on the camera in the last few miles of the ride as I approach home, I will do that. I don't think it's going to be that bad. I just really can't imagine it. But if it is, I'll pop on and you'll know about it, and I will see you then. Okay, so we just put in 4.67. I'm going to get out of this lane because there's actually traffic coming in to gas up. Let's just pull over here where we can do a quick calculation without being in anyone's way. I'm going to just stop right here for a moment. Okay, so 4.67. See, 165.4 miles. 165.4 divided by 4.67. 35.4. Okay, folks, so if you're faithful to 70 miles per hour, you will get 35 miles to the gallon. And if you are like me and want to get to your destination just a little bit quicker, you will get 30 miles to the gallon. I will tell you, I am going to put one more clip at the end of this, and that is my fatigue level. I actually put my rain gear on not just because I was wet, but because to avoid getting more wet, but because I was shivering. And that's got to affect my fatigue. I don't feel it now. We have, let's see, we got 2.5 hours. I feel fine, but my guess is I won't feel as fine as I did when I arrived in Rhode Island on that nice, sunny, beautiful day. So I'll give you an update then, and we'll pick it up momentarily. One thing I forgot to mention back at the Little Falls or Utica area rest area, when it was pouring rain and I went to get my rain gear, I somehow lost one of my Alpine earplugs. I had them both set in the helmet when I put it in my top case as I ran in to the rest area, and when I went back out to get the rain gear and to get my helmet to bring it into the rest area to put it on so I could walk out warm and dry and all the rest of it, I must have lost earplugs. And I only mention that because I posted a video questioning, do earplugs really work? And after using them for a while now on the interstates, they do work. They make a big difference, particularly with wind buffeting. Even though you don't get a lot of wind buffeting because of the Spyder's expansive cover, you do get wind buffeting. It's just inherent it's the nature of the beast, and it seriously reduces it. Now, I mention it in reference to losing one of the earplugs because I actually put the earplug that I didn't lose in my left eardrum. So the next video I shoot, I'll try to mention whether or not I noticed the difference, because half this ride, 4 hours on the Spyder, will have been with one earplug in the left ear and nothing in the right ear, and so we'll see if it makes a difference. Just thought I'd mention that. Okay, folks, we're at a service area not far from home. I'm about an hour from home, but I wanted to cut in because another peculiarity with the Spyder. So I gassed up about 2 service plazas ago and filled it up to the brim, and as I'm driving away, I noticed that this range meter was showing, instead of 210 or 180 like it normally does when I fill up, it was showing 125 or so as I was on the throughway just a couple of miles after filling up. So I started to question my sanity, like how could that be possible? So I just filled up again, and I filled it up more than I should, like right up to the brim. 120-mile range. Now, I don't know like how that's possible. Well, quite frankly, it's not possible. Something's wrong with it. Now, Spyder Wayne commented on my post about how my trip meter MPG was not reading a realistic reading, and what he recommended, and it's working, is not to reset the trip odometer as I'm pulling up to the pump and then shutting down and then filling up. Instead, fill up, drive away, and then reset it, and that seems to be working. But if anybody has any ideas on what's causing that, I'd love to know, because obviously my range is not 119 miles on a full tank with the Spyder, not under any conditions whatsoever. Having said all of that, I'm an hour from home. I'm not really fatigued. Today was a more trying day than the ride in, simply because we had some unexpected rain. It was colder than normal. I had the shivers for a little bit there because I was kind of wet and cold. It got down to about 59 degrees around I think I was in Little Falls, which is near Utica. But for the most part, I just can't emphasize enough what a dream the Spyder is on the freeway. Again, no hands, and when I want to adjust, I just nudge it in the direction I want to go. But just an incredible touring machine. I'm absolutely thrilled with it. I'm coming up on, what is it, 4,000 miles. We'll go to the actual odometer now. Oh, what am I saying? We're at 4,300 miles, so I'm not far. I'll be at 5,000 miles soon, and quite frankly, I'll do another review at that point. But I just wanted to thank you once again for sticking with me on these videos. I appreciate you, whether you subscribe or not. If you watch the videos, I really do appreciate you. If you would like this video, if you like it, and if you do like it and you'd like to see more videos like this, please do hit subscribe. It helps the channel. The YouTube algorithms really make note of how many subscribers you have, how many folks are liking your videos and commenting and all the rest of it. So thanks again, and you have a great day. Bye-bye.